Hi, my name is Andre Logeland, and I'm going to talk about changes in web development and what impact it has had on user experience. So I've divided my presentation in 5 parts: how it all started, changes that has happened through time, where are we now, where are we going, and a conclusion. So this is how it all started with the first HTML or web page ever that was published in 1991 by the founder or the founder of the HTML page. As you can see here, it contains only hyperlinks and text, and it doesn't have any media elements, and it's not structured very well. It's a simple, just straight down, vertically put down. Yeah. Now, as I mentioned, it's simple HTML, and it does not have any CSS or JavaScript, which we'll find in web pages today to support either very dynamic interfaces or uh, good design of web pages. It was just text and links, and it was hard to navigate and find your way around due to the fact it was only hyperlinks and there was no real menu bar or menus that you could take reference. So the user experience was really bad. The only main part of it of the web pages was to just provide content. Now, through time, we saw some bad examples for things that happened, which we've learned from. And here we got MySpace. So MySpace, they are almost completely done today because they did this mistake where they gave users way too much opportunity to customize their web pages. And here we can see this clearly here with the fact that they can this profile has this background with in black with different colored figures, and these colors are then reused here in this header and this menu. And it's also very hard to see that there's in fact a menu bar on the top here. Another thing is that the content provided here in this text is very hard to read due to the fact that it doesn't scale well with this background. Rest of the items are really easy to see. We can see that there's this structure where the page is divided in two, where you have one part here and one part on the right side. This is not the way we see today. So here we have another bad example of bad development, and especially architecture in this case. Like the design is okay. You have a menu bar on the left here, on the top, and then there's some ads on the right, and then you have the main content in the middle. This is a very standardized for today, and it's been standardized for a very long time. The problem here is that there's too much menus and or architecture. It's too big, and it's too hard to find your way around. Because here you see it's the topic is relevant topic, and you cannot find relevant topic in this menu. You cannot find it in the top menu. So and you cannot find like money, tax, and investment either in any of these. So how would you find money, tax, and investment when you can't will have a hard time finding a relevant topic? You would not know if money, tax, and investment would be on a relevant topic. So this is where the architecture has failed like immensely, and this is something we have seen gone through many of the government pages for a very long time. It's only recently that governments and government officials have started changing these web pages to make them more clearer, the architecture more clearer, because users, like they said, users can come to the page, they will find their content, but they will use most of their time finding it on that page. So it's really hard, and this is where the architecture failed greatly, and we're trying to work with that now, and we're fixing that issue. Um, so yeah, So cascading style sheets that was published in 1996. It helped support HTML with the creation or designing how the content should be shown. Like you have something here on the left, you have something on the right, something in the top, and something in the middle. That's CSS helping designers to restructure the content. And JavaScript, I'm going to get back to that later, but it has greatly increased the user experience that we see today. Now, getting back to the MySpace and the government page, we have the fact that developers overdid the design. In the MySpace, they gave way too much opportunities to the users, and we've seen that there was too many options in the government page. But then, all in all, cascading JavaScript, they introduced this new architecture and this new design aspect that made developers able to create an easier way of structuring things, but also an easier way of designing and putting elements in different spots. So there was a better user experience overall compared to the simple one from the beginning. But this is where we are today. Very, very simple. There's a little bit of content in here with some text and an image. And this is on a scrollable wallpaper, meaning there's three papers that looks like this with maybe a picture and some text, but not too much text, because it's been shown that too much text can frighten users. And for commercial pages like this on Xbeacon that are trying to sell something, it's very crucial that at the first 3 seconds, 3 to 5 seconds are very crucial. So trying to make sure ease up on the tension for users that visit the page, they restrict the content. So an image, they really grab the attention of users. And then you have menus on the top, and we see this use of very soft colors today. And this is very easy. That takes some ease on the eyes and makes sure it's not very hard to look at it. This kind of structure we can see also in the QT webpage, but the difference here is that I've hovered over the international students, and it's providing this big, big menu. And this is something new that we're seeing now coming in very recently, maybe a couple of years ago. And it's a very good way to structure the elements here with or the items here, because here you have applying for study, and then you have a little paragraph that introduces or gives the user a hint of what you're going to get by going to applying for study. So instead of this standardized like drop-down menu that we see in many pages, they have created this big one. And it's very good because it really gives the user a understanding of where they're going from where they are now, and it simplifies the navigation quite a lot. And also you can see it gives the opportunity for adding some more information on the side. But overall, it's a very good idea. You can also see the reuse of very soft colors. The blue that is transparent, quite transparent, and the black that is transparent. So, and you see there's not very many colors. You've got black, you've got this very green, blue-green, and black, and blue again. So it's very reuse of the same colors and making sure there's not too many. And I mentioned JavaScript, and Facebook is the perfect example because everybody uses Facebook, so it's a good example for you showing how JavaScript has helped users. So as you go to your newsfeed, you only get 10 to 15 news feeds, and then as you scroll down, you will find that it will then load a new 10 to 15, and you scroll down, new 10 to 15, and this is to reduce the load on servers. Now that's technical, but what it does make sure is that because the packages that it sends to users is smaller, it can respond much faster. So with the use of this, just dividing up the pages like that, it increases the user experience by the fact that it gets a really fast feedback compared to getting these big packages that would take a long time for both the server to package and send, and also for the your web browser to open up. And another thing that the JavaScript helped with is that you see the one here. If you want to update your status, you write something in, and then you press publish. When you press publish here, it doesn't take you to a new page, which it would have done in the past. With JavaScript, it just updates it directly here on the page, and you will get your newsfeed here. And it really makes sure that users don't have to see like load a new page, because loading a new page takes time. So instead of that, we just update a part of the page. So that's where we're now. We're using soft colors that work well together. We're reducing the amount of data that's been presented, and the data is very clear. And the architecture is getting clearer. It's not too big, and the wording is getting much better, such that words are very self-explanatory. Headers are being used that catch the user attention, especially through pictures and less text. It's as I mentioned through the Facebook, it gives the user, like what I meant with give the user only if you ask for it, is that instead of giving everything at the start, you have a little part, and then it provides you more if you want to go further down. In sense of architecture, it's like you have this little paragraph, as I mentioned, in the big menu, and then it takes you, it describes where you're going. So this is how you just give a little bit, and then if you want more, you will be provided with more. Now, what we saw here with the Onyx and the Qt is the architecture and design is very similar, and more pages are getting having this same look and getting very similar. So we're starting to get a basis for setting a basis for how it should look. With soft colors, good color schemes, as mentioned before. There's more media elements like pictures and videos, and we have better self-explanatory and understanding navigation links, to make it easier for more easier and obvious for users to know where to go. And as I mentioned, similar design and structure. And now what impact it has is that if all pages are similar, it would be easier for users to interact with them, because they have experience with one of them and then goes to a new one, but it looks the same. So the user would understand where to go from there and how it all works, because they all work the same way. This is how that impacts the user experience. Now the conclusion is that we started bad and we've made mistakes, but we're getting better and we're getting really good at it. And this is what 20 years does. And then you improve. You don't stand at the same part. So we started with very few colors, and then we saw examples of very many colors and very strong colors, and we saw that the newer ones that are simpler and soft colors, a few colors, maximum of 3 to 5, it really improves the visual design of the page. We see that too many options, as in MySpace, can be too much, and users going too far. You shouldn't give users too many opportunities, so you restrict it. And we're seeing that structuring architecture is very important. Simplifying navigation and making sure that things are very obvious for users when they're on your page. The only reason why government pages have been able to run as they've done so far is because that's not their main intention to provide a good web page. It's just to provide data. So you go to this web page, you will find it, but it will take you a lot of time. So that's the issue we see there. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.